Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial. And in this part, we will learn about creating a dashboard like this, which is Blinkit grocery sales data. As per the data source, the Blinkit grocery sales data set appears to be a fictional data set which is designed for grocery or retail scenario, possibly for analysis and educational purpose. So we have taken data set from Kaggle, and with the help of the data set we have tried to create a report like this, and the purpose is to teach student how to create something like this which has interactive filters. Like if you select tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities, you will be able to see performance of these cities. You have filters like outlet type where you can select the outlet size is high, medium or small. On the basis of that, what is the sales performance, what is the different type of item performance, and item type says everything here. For example, if you want to analyze for breads and breakfast, then you can see performance of breads and breakfast in different outlet types and year wise total sales. So let's start creating this dashboard and using this data set for learning purpose. So let's look at the Blinkit data first. The Blinkit data that we have, the first field is item fat content. Fat content is regular, low fat, and here obviously we need some cleaning. We will replace the values. So we will replace them as low fat or regular, not LF or REG, which is the short form. Then for every item there is an identifier value, item type value. Uh, So here is the description of these fields also. So item identifier is a unique ID for each product in the data set. So we have got this data set from Kaggle. Item weight is the weight of the product. Item fat content indicates whether the product is low fat or not. Item visibility. This is important column here. So here we have item visibility. So item visibility means the percentage of the total display area in the store that is allocated to the specific product. Then we have item type, the category or type of the product. So we have item type here like fruits and vegetable, health and hygiene. So you can see that we have a lot of categorical variables here and a lot of numerical variables like item weight, amount of sales, rating. So this will help us in finding item wise average rating, item type wise average rating, item type wise sales value. So a lot of things can be done. Then outlet count is also a categorical value, but like medium, high is small. So we will be able to find out in which type of outlet what type of item type is preferred. And item the outlet establishment year is also given. For every outlet a unique identifier is also there, and there is outlet location type, whether it's a tier 1 location, tier 2 location. So the type of city or region in which the store is located is outlet location type. I will again uh, provide this link, provide this detail to you so that you can also go through it and understand the data as much as you can. So the whole purpose of this analysis or this project showcases a detailed Power BI dashboard designed to analyze Blinkit sales performance, which we will just start creating customer satisfaction and inventory distribution through various KPIs and visualizations. And the dashboard delivers valuable insights and highlights opportunities for optimization. So here we'll simply create a blank Power BI desktop, and since the file is in Excel format, we have just converted in Excel format and created it as a table. So we will simply load this data. So we will just select our Blinkit grocery data, make sure all the values are appearing properly. And before loading, we will do some transformation. Like here, we will just replace values. So we will replace LF with low fat. Okay. So let's try again. Replace values LF with low fat. Okay, let's see advanced. Match entire cell content. Now you can see LF has been replaced with low fat. We also have some REG value, which is short for regular. So we'll replace it with REG with regular. Okay. Match entire cell content. So we have regular and low fat. Make sure we have low fat, low fat. So we also have a low fat value in different cases. So for that, we can do one simple thing. Go to transform tab and capitalize each word. Okay. Now let's see whether we have, yeah, now we have low fat and regular, only two categorical variables same. In a similar way, if you think, you should check everywhere. If you have such different type of cases anywhere, you can just change that data. After making all the changes, we can simply close in apply this, so that the data will be applied and properly fetched in our case. So the first thing now that we are going to do is insert a shape here, and we can insert a shape like this. Okay, and we can select, go to shape, it is rounded rectangle. So let's select rounded tab, both top. Okay, and here in the shape we will select rounded top corners close to 25%, 25. Okay, and let's, yeah, so this is rounded tab, both top. We can also select something like both top right. So whatever you want to keep, you can keep simply. And what we are going to do here, in obviously this is shape, in a style section we will choose a color which kind of matches the brand's overall appearance, like yellow color, because we are doing it for Blinkit. So we will select this kind of yellow color, and here we will put a text box. And so let's drag the text box here. Just a minute. And in the text box, let's write the name Blinkit. Let's increase its size to something like 40. Make it red. I'm sorry for the noise. Now whatever color we use for this shape, okay, we will copy its hex code, and we will use the same color in the text box also. So in the text box property, effect, background, we'll use the same color, and we will choose a different color for these two names. So we'll choose some kind of green color for this. More colors, green, a darker green color. Okay, so we will select this and apply this color, or we can choose a little lighter color, so that is visible like this. Yeah, so this is what we have now. Here we will put our filters which we will use later. Now let's create some KPIs like total sales, average sales. For creating KPIs, we have option to create cards, and first we will create one card. In this card, we are going to bring sales value. Field that we are going to bring is sum of sales. We will rename it as total sales. Hit enter. Go to call out value, reduce its size because we have to fit various values here. So we will use 25 size and total sales. Obviously the category label can be selected as a bold value, and we can select some color like this. We can go to general, effect, generate shadow and a visual border. Now we will simply copy this 4 times here, and we will display different type of data. Let's copy all of them and shift towards our sidebar. Here, instead of sum, we will select average, which will show us the average value of sales, and here we will rename it as average sales, and we will also remove sales from here and try to find out average product rating. Average product rating is average item rating, so which is 3.92 here. We'll just increase the size so that it matches both values. And finally, we will try to find out total number of items. So for every item we have a unique item identifier, and we will get rid of sales from here. Item identifier, not first, but we will count distinct. This is 1559 count of identifiers. What is okay? Total unique identifiers. So we will rename it as unique items. So this way you can create as many KPIs as you can, but this is a simple way to display your KPI data. Now obviously this is the regular way of displaying your KPIs. This is card, but we also have a card new here. Okay, so how can we use this new card? Here you have the data. So in this new card, let's say we want to bring average sales or something like that. Okay, so we brought sum of sales. Obviously we will rename it later. We bring sales once again, and this time call it average sales. Okay, so you can see the card is forming. In this card everything will be grouped together. Okay, and similarly we can also bring rating, and we in rating also we will not bring sum, we will bring average. So we are giving you two ways of displaying similar thing, and we can also bring item identifier, and here we will use count distinct. Obviously there are some settings that need to be done here. When you will go to format your visual part, you will see the shape. You can select rounded rectangle, and in layout vertical alignment is in middle, that is good. arrangement in a grid. Okay, so number of rows 2, number of columns 2. So now we have 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so this way obviously we are displaying the same thing, but the representation is little bit better than what we are seeing here. Okay, a space between cards is okay. The call out values 45 is a large size. We will show the call out values in 25 pixel. Okay, so that we have more space for more type of data. Values we can select as per our color combination and align them in center. Similarly, we also have label, and we can increase or decrease the size of label and make them bold. Okay, we can wrap the text which is not looking good. And here you have images, like you can turn on image and browse different images, like for sum of sales what image do you want to display. So I am inside Canva and I am creating a very simple design. Every design is 128 by 128 pixel. So let's say I will create 4 designs. Okay, so for sales, let's say we want a chart. Okay, so in graphics you will find such icons. We are going to use the free icons for now. So we can select this free icon and mark both colors like this. Okay, or whatever color you want. For example, we have a different type of color combination in our report, so we will use that kind of color. So in the similar way, you can create these icons, download them, and you can use them from here. Okay, you can browse them. And for further analysis, what we can do, we can go and create measures. So we have some images. Now we are going to choose them. In images, for sum of sales, let's select an image. So here you can see we have selected an image. Now for average of sales, average rating, and finally count of items. So we have another type of KPI. So you can either keep something like this or create something like this. So this, we will get rid of this for now, because this is kind of looking better than that. And as per the headings, we will keep this. Now the next thing that we have to do for this visual, we have to rename it, like total sales. So we have renamed it to total sales, average rating, number of items. For this entire visual also, you can go to general, effect, give it a shadow. Okay, and we can also give it a visual border. See, the entire purpose of these tutorials is to teach you use of different type of visual elements also. If something is not looking nice to you, like for example I don't want border, so I will simply ignore it. And there are a lot of other things that we can do, like we selected layout, where we selected grid element, you know then in cards also you have series, so their padding, their background. So you can select a simple type of background color for them if you want. Okay, or a very light background color, something like this, whatever you feel will suit your requirement, you can select something like that. So this is our total sales, average rating, and number of items. Now for further analysis, what we can do, we can create a measure also, and we can call it total sales, and this will be simply sum of the sales value. Okay, sum of sales value, and this measure will be created. Now we can create a simple line chart like this, and in the line chart on x-axis we will bring the date, which will be the outlet opening date. Okay, so this is outlet establishment year. So whenever the outlet was established, we will select that here. So outlet establishment year we will bring here. Okay, and on the y-axis we will bring total sales, which will automatically group the data. Now we can also go to visual settings, like on x-axis what type of values do you want to keep, your value, color, and everything. And here in effects you can choose a color of your background, and we can also give it a shadow. So here we have done some settings. Obviously, if needed, we will provide you this file also. In general, we will simply go to effect and just create a shadow. So now what we have done here, in visual x-axis values we have kept as 9. Okay, color same. In y-axis values we have kept as 9. Title is off. In your legend there is nothing. Okay, now in markers we have turned on the markers, apply setting to all series. In your shape, the type that you can choose, like for example you want to choose diamond shape, arrow, okay, square, whatever you want to choose there you can select, and its size, so that it is clearly visible, and its color also, like for example as per our theme. Now we have also enabled data labels, where series is all, the position is auto. You can also select above, under. Okay, so these are the settings. And optimize label display you can turn off, like maximum width, minimum width you can keep, but we will turn it off. In your value we have selected total sales field. Okay, so that it is visible there, and its color and everything is like that. If we change the color, you will see the value color being changed. Let me zoom it for you so that you can see. Okay, and background is something that is currently black. So we'll select a darker gray, so that it is properly visible. Okay, like this. And layout is a single line, or you can select a multi-line. And plot area background is something that you can choose some kind of image. So obviously for brands they can show this type of image, but this is more or less the setting that we have done. In lines, line style is solid and joint type is round. You can also select bevel, or this stroke width you can increase or decrease. Okay, so let's decrease it to 2. And line type is smooth. If you will select linear, it will be like default value. If you will select a step, it will be like that. So whatever you want to keep, you can keep it here. Okay, in general you have title, that is outlet establishment year, and your header icon color. So we can select different type of colors also as per our theme. icon like visual information, everything is on, and you can play with these properties more. Okay, in effect you can see background is off. If you will select, you can select such kind of background, or we can select this background also that we selected for one of the other graphs. Okay, and here in general also affect your visual border. You can round the corners, so you can see we have the rounded corners. It is totally optional if you want to keep. And here we have simply written something like year-wise count of outlets, so that we can see what is obviously the year-wise count of outlets for this data. So this is another report that we have created. We have just adjusted our color so that the data is properly visible. You can select any other color. Okay, we'll be using this color. Then choose color choice of yours. Next is we have the outlet size also, and the outlet size is shown as medium, small or high. Let's find out how many outlets are medium, how many of them are high and medium sized. So for that we will use the donut chart, and in the donut chart we are going to bring legend. So the categorical value is brought as the legend. So outlet size, it will all automatically aggregate the data. So high, medium and small, and in the values we will count outlet identifier value. So here we are going to use the outlet identifier because for every outlet we have a unique identifier value, kind of ID of the outlet. And this is count of outlet identifier by outlet size. Let's reduce the size of the graph and let's style it a little bit. So here in the visual formatting settings we have slices, so we can select different colors here. For example, this color. For a small, let's select some of the green color, and for high a darker green color. Now we also have detail labels, like where do you want to keep the detail labels: outside, inside, prefer outside. Okay, outside is looking better. And values, let's increase the size of values to 11 and let's make them a little bold. Okay, and display units we can select like thousands, which is already there. In millions we will always see 0. Thousands will be better. Let's see what we can do with rotation. We don't want this rotation. Let's select a different position for the legend, that is these labels. So we will use top center, so that we can save some space. And here in general we will write outlet count and allow it to center. In slicer spacing we can also increase the spacing to make it look like this. Okay, and as we have already done in other graphs, we can either create a visual border, so or we can enable the shadow. In shadow position, we have bottom right, bottom left, top right, and you can also have a custom shadow. So angle, whatever you want to keep. Okay. So this is our outlet count, and we will simply enable a visual border also. So we have year-wise count of outlets, total sales, average sales, and outlet count here. In the similar way, we can also generate our data for total sales by fat content. So here we did total outlet size where we used count of outlet, and here we are going to use total sales by fat content. So in legend we are going to remove this. Just a minute. Yeah. So here in the second graph we will drag item fat content and remove this. Okay. Here you can see low or regular, and instead of count of values we will drag the measure total sales. So this is outlet count. We will change the title first of all. So this is going to be sales by fat content. Like we can see that low fat items are sold more than regular fat items. Okay. And here in our visual itself we will again use the slices color same as we did for previous exam. So we'll choose this color and a green color. Okay. So this is sales by fat content, and this is outlet count. One simple thing that we can do, we can make the title a little bold so that its visibility also increases. And in effects, in the visual border, let's give a 10 pixel radius to our graphs. Similarly, we can create a clustered bar chart to show the flat by outlet. So for that, for example, we drag there. On x-axis, we can drag item fat content, or, or what we can simply do, let's bring item fat to legend section because we will use this as a color. On y-axis, we will use the outlet type, and on x-axis, we will use the total sales value. So this way, such type of graph will be created. So in the similar way as we styled other elements, we can go to bar, you know, and we can select border color, layout color, and we can go to general tab and give title and effects. We also have grid lines, so we can accept that. Like for example, low fat color and regular color, whatever we want to choose. So let's style that. So here we have fat by outlet, and we can call it total sales by outlet and fat. Okay, so we can just make the title like that. In effects we will just enable visual border and shadow. In border we will just use 10 pixel as corner value. So this is again either you want to show sales by fat content, outlet count. So if we are showing sales by outlet and fat, so above we can show their count also. Okay, so like title we will move to center, make bold here. Just a minute. And here what we are going to do in this graph, we will simply use, this is sales by fat content, so we will use the item identifier count because fat content is found in item identifier. Okay, so this is sales, and instead of sales by fat content, we will simply call it item count. Okay, so we can say that even in our grocery store, low fat content are more than regular fat content. Similarly, we can create item wise, so where we have different item type. Okay, so we can create item type wise sales data also, but in the item type we can see that there are more than 10 item types. Okay, so for such kind of categorical values, you can either create a clustered bar chart or a stacked column chart or a clustered column chart. But since we are going to select only one variable here, so we can select any one of them. We are using horizontal here because we have some space for horizontal data to get displayed. Here we have legend, x-axis and y-axis. So in our x-axis we are going to put the item type, and in y-axis we are going to use our measure total sales. Okay, and this is total sales by item type. Heading seems nice to me, meaningful. So total sales by item type, let's make it a little bold, and later we can align all headings, use the same kind of font for all headings. It is something that we can do easily, but here we are just using this to demonstrate. And here we have graph, uh, the columns are blue in color. We will simply select the color that we have been using, or let's let it darker blue. What you can do here, you can go to settings, enable effects, like shadow, visual border, what we have done so far, and 10 pixel border radius. And this is total sales by item type. You can select the heading color and other things also that you can define as per your choice. We also have another categorical value, that is outlet type. Outlet type is in three tier city, two tier city, or location. So we have three tiers here, and for this we are going to use a funnel chart. So in a funnel chart, you can see we can create similar data like this. Okay, it is also used to demonstrate these categorical values, but here we select a category. So the category that we are going to select is outlet type, and for values you can either choose total sales if you want to display total sales by outlet type, or count. So this is showing total sales by outlet type. Okay, so outlet type is supermarket, grocery store, supermarket type 2, supermarket type 3, and you also have, and here let's see, this is outlet location type. So right now we will use outlet location type here. It has three values and it will fit properly here. Here this is total sales by outlet location type. We will just remove total from there, and this is sales by outlet location type. Let's align it to center, make it bold. Okay, and as we are doing for every other data, we are choosing color accordingly. Okay, we can choose a different color like this also. It totally depends upon you. You can also choose different colors for different values. For example, higher values we can select as green, a little lower value we can select as a little green. Okay, and lowest value we can select as yellow. So this way we can show some kind of hierarchy also. You can also go to function. So for example, in colors, you can go to function and you can format the style as gradient. So the field that we should choose based on will be total sales, obviously. Lowest value we can say will be a yellow color, and highest value will be a green color, a dark green color. And all the values falling in between will be between them. Okay. So when you will do this, it will automatically choose color for you. So this is something that you can also do. So it totally depends upon how you want to show that. The main idea is to show you how to do all of these things. We can define, color and different type of elements for our category labels also. So this is our sales by outlet location type, and the same thing that we are doing for every other graph. Visual border, shadow, and radius is 10 pixel. So this is our sales by outlet location type. You can see that in tier 3 cities or locations we have most amount of sales, then tier 2 and tier 1. Now the next thing that, obviously this is outlet location type. We also have the outlet type, that is either a supermarket type 3 or supermarket type 2. So here we have 4 values. So I will show you the use of another type of matrix. So this is table chart, this is matrix chart. So click here and bring matrix chart here, because we have enough space right now. In matrix chart, what you can do, you can select your rows and columns. Okay. So rows will appear here. So in rows, we will select the categorical value, that is outlet type. So it will show you your outlet type. Okay. And in columns, you can bring whatever identifiers you want to bring. So those can be total sales. Okay. So let's bring one column here, total sales. Just a minute. You will select and select this. Okay. So it will show total sales. So that you have to bring in values, and similarly number of items. So we will drag count of identifier. So count of identifier items. Okay. We will also drag average sales. So instead of sum, we will simply select average, and this way you can bring whatever number of columns you want to bring. And there are some style preset, like you want to select minimal, bold header, alternating rows, whatever suits your requirement you can select accordingly, and as per your theme configuration and setting you can choose that. So obviously it requires a lot of customization and it will take some time. So I will just pause the video and do the styling. Obviously I will just show you what you can do. Like if you want to increase the font size, you can increase from here. You want to change the text size, you can change from here, or alternating values. Okay. Here column headers, you want a different background, let's say as per our theme, or this green header. So you can select all of these settings. So let me do it and just update the data. While making the changes, what you can see here, that in the cell elements setting, if you will select, for example, total sales is the important thing here. So this is a metric chart, we can display the data bars, and obviously data bars, positive bar we can select as and negative bar we can select. Say positive bar is going to be green in color. Obviously this is something that you can select as per your choice. Okay. And let's say negative bar is going to be light yellow, and click OK. So this way you can select. Obviously all of them are positive bars, but you can see in supermarket type 1 we have most amount of total sale. Now obviously we can customize this a lot more, I will just enable visual border and shadow and the 10 pixel border radius that we were doing. And this way we will have our simple analysis. Let's click somewhere. Yeah. And this way you can see all of them are interactive values also, right? If you will click somewhere, you will see the interactions, and you can change the colors, you can change the data levels, you can change the value. Okay, I have selected the wrong XP data. So here, just a minute, I will click outside, select this. Sometimes it is hard to select the proper table. Yeah. So by just adjusting its size, we can see now we have this simple data here. Now we can bring some filters here also. We can either use the new slicer, okay, as a filter. So you can drag your slicer here, and in your slicer, when you will click, you will see option to drag fields here. Whatever fields you want to keep as filters. For example, here we mostly put the categorical variables like outlet location time. Okay, and here it is showing like a button here. Okay, you can go to slicer setting, and here you can show options like show select all. In shape it is rectangle. Let's select a rounded shape tab board layout. Or what we are going to do is we will just get rid of this and use the old slicer. That way it is not meeting a requirement. Old slicer is better because here we have different type of slicer like drop down and all. So like outlet location. Okay, here you can see tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So on the basis of outlet location, you can select and see the data. And like in tier 2, we have supermarket type outlets. In tier 3, we have all 4 type of outlets. Okay. And in the outlet location type general settings, we can give it a same background. And here in slicer setting, we can select drop down. In selection, we can enable multiple select. So now we can press Control and select multiple also. If you want, you can show select all also. Okay. So this is outlook location type. We will just copy this filter 3 times. So just a minute, yeah. So that we will put other fields here. Okay. And here we can select other values like outlet size is also there, which we have not used so far, and which we have various other columns like you know outlet size is medium, so let's select outlet size, and outlet instead of outlet location type in the third we can select something like item type. So like whether it's, let's say we want to see everything for seafood. So here you have all information about seafood like year-wise count of outlets. This is actually year-wise total sales. Okay, so let's go there. So let's change this. So this way you can apply your filters, and from insert tab you can insert an image. It will ask you to select an image. So we have selected this icon, which kind of means reset. So here the action is clear all slicers. Okay, so you can do something like this also. Like you can use it for back, for page navigation, or go to web URL. So you can do those kind of things.